If you are desperately missing travel, looking for a little virtual escape, and ready to let your travel imagination run wild, you're gonna wanna stick around for my top 10 places to travel after the pandemic. What's up, everyone? I'm Allie, and on my channel, I help overpacking, luxury-loving, independent women travel deeper on their next adventure. Now today, I'm sharing my top 10 recommendations on where to travel post-pandemic. Quick disclaimer though, this video is not going to be a guide on where to travel right now. Because rules and regulations are changing so rapidly, I always recommend checking the State Department's website to get the most up-to-date information on where you can travel right now. Instead, I want this video to be an appetizer of sorts to reignite your wanderlust and get you thinking about the places you'd like to visit once we're able to safely travel to these destinations. Ooh, and if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because next week I'm gonna be kicking off a new bucket list series where I dive deeper into each of these destinations, and I kind of have a feeling that you're not gonna wanna miss that video. Ooh, and one last thing, these destinations aren't in any particular order. So now that that's all out of the way, I think we should get traveling. I'm kicking off the list with Argentina. Argentina is the second largest country in South America, and honestly what makes it so unique are all of the diverse landscapes and climates that you can experience within its borders. From the cosmopolitan streets of Buenos Aires, known as the Paris of South America, to the jungle surrounding Iguazu Falls, and the icy glaciers of Patagonia, to the vast wine regions of Mendoza. Argentina is just one of those places that quite literally has something to offer everyone. If you love red meat, out of this world hikes, insane landscapes, Malbec, and chasing waterfalls, this destination should be very high on your list. While you're there, you absolutely must see a tango performance. Or if you're feeling brave, you can test out your own sensual dance moves with a hottie, just like I did. Destination number 2, Costa Rica. Costa Rica is one of the most biodiverse countries on our planet, and it's by far one of the most popular countries to visit in Central America. Not to mention consistently named one of the happiest countries in the world. Now, Costa Rica literally means rich coast and boasts 800 miles of shoreline, vast rainforests, and has more than 500,000 species of animals. Home to all the sloths, you guys. If you love adventure, coffee, are looking to escape the hustle and bustle of a big city, or you're a crazy animal lover, like you don't yawn when someone says bird watching, you need to visit Costa Rica. While you're there, you absolutely must plan a visit to the La Fortuna district so that you can catch a glimpse of the active Arenal volcano from the hanging bridges. I'm gonna look down. And if you can swing it, stay at the Nyara Springs Resort, which is consistently named one of the top hotels in the world. Destination number 3, India. India is a country that grips your heart and leaves a lifelong imprint on your soul. This ancient country is steeped in history and has the uncanny ability to overload your senses with color, smells, sounds, and motion, no matter what part of the country you're visiting. From the opulent palaces of Rajasthan in the north to the easygoing, laid-back beaches in Kerala, India is a massive country, overflowing with exotic architecture, curious locals, mouth-watering flavors, and above all else, life.
Showered with petals. It's so beautiful.
If you're someone who's looking for a destination that will forever change you as a traveler, India is your place. It's a country of extremes and contradictions. And while I always recommend the Golden Triangle for first-timers, Delhi, Agra, and Jaipur, make sure to leave time to explore the blue city of Jodhpur or Udaipur, the city of lakes. And if you're back for round 2, make sure to visit Varanasi or head south to Goa. If you couldn't tell, India is one of my absolute favorite countries I've ever visited. And I'm curious if you've been or if it's on your list. Let me know in the comments below. Moving right along to country number 4, which is Austria. Known for its old world architecture, mountainous landscapes, charming towns, and of course, the sound of music, Austria is one of my favorite European countries to visit, especially for my gals who are looking to take their first solo trip. Now, this is where I had my first solo adventure, and I felt incredibly safe in this country. If you love coffee, the capital Vienna is known for its coffee culture, and you enjoy art, music, history, and are looking for a destination that is beautiful year-round, consider adding Austria to your list. My recommendation is to rent a car while you're there and have a proper European road trip. Visit Vienna, Graz, Hallstatt, and Salzburg. And if you're there in the summertime, you'll see fields upon fields of sunflowers right on the side of the road. It's epic. Fun fact about Austria, the water is amazing and you can drink it straight from the tap. We're not traveling too far for this next destination because country number 5 is Croatia. Nestled along the Adriatic Sea in Central Europe is where you'll find this stunning country, known for its gorgeous coastline, sea-to-table cuisine, and fascinating history. If you're looking for the ultimate sailing destination, look no further. Croatia has 1,200 islands, and 80% of them are uninhabited. But the ones that have people on them are full of red-roofed buildings, old forts, epic beach clubs, and fantastic restaurants. There's even one island that has this brilliant blue water cave. I visited Croatia on Yacht Week, and while that experience was bucket list worthy in and of itself, you can watch all the wild and crazy moments from that trip right up here. I have to say that island hopping is one of the best ways to see the country. Now, my favorites are Vis and Hvar, which I struggle to pronounce every single time. While you're visiting Croatia, you absolutely must visit the walled city of Dubrovnik and catch the sunset looking down on the city at Panorama Restaurant. Ooh, and for all my Game of Thrones fans, Dubrovnik is known as King's Landing because many of the scenes were shot there, and I highly recommend taking a GOT tour. Hey, before we get into my next recommendations, I gotta know, are some of these countries you visited before? Are they top of your bucket list? Let me know in the comments below. Country number 6 is Romania. When you think of Romania, what do you think of? Be honest. Dracula and gypsies, right? But I gotta tell you, there is so much more to this Eastern European country. I was blown away by its beauty and fall. The nature parks, charming towns, and the beauty of Bucharest, which honestly reminded me of Paris. Plus, it's way more affordable than many other European destinations. A trip to the country's largest region, Transylvania, is an absolute must. Filled with medieval villages, vast forests, sprawling mountains, and of course, Dracula's castle, aka Bran Castle, this part of the country kind of feels frozen in time. Oh, and fun fact, Romania is home to the world's heaviest building. Yeah, that's a thing. Bucharest's Palace of Parliament, which has 1,100 rooms, an annual heating bill of $6 million, and cost €3 billion to construct. Country number 7 is Greece. You'll find Greece at the top of many travelers' bucket lists, and it's hard to blame them because this country is full of beautiful beaches, ancient history, majestic scenery, and epic party spots. The country is known as the birthplace of democracy, and its contributions to literature, science, philosophy, and architecture are immeasurable. But beyond that, Greece is made up of more than 200 islands, each one more beautiful than the next. If it's your first time to Greece, Santorini should be at the top of your list. There's nothing quite as breathtaking as watching the sunset over the caldera in Ia with a glass of wine in your hand. And listen, I know what you're thinking. Santorini is kind of a cliche destination, but there's a reason why tourists flock to the island. It's unlike any place I've ever been. And if you want to skip the crowds, think about traveling in the off-season. Destination 8 is England. This country will always hold a special place in my heart because this was the first foreign country I lived in back in 2013. England is the largest nation in the United Kingdom and is a destination that I always recommend to travelers looking to explore Europe for the first time. And while many of us can't help but think about the royal family, London, and red telephone booths when we think of England, I want to encourage you to consider exploring England's other regions and not just London. From Oxford and the Cotswolds to Devon and Dorset and up north to the Lake District, there's so much beauty to enjoy outside of the hustle and bustle of London. But don't get me wrong, London is one of my favorite cities in the entire world because of its history, culture, and beautiful sights. It's truly a must visit on any trip across the pond. And if you're looking for recommendations on where to explore if you're visiting London for the first time, check out this video right up here. Country number 9 is the United Arab Emirates, or UAE for short. This small country on the Persian Gulf consists of 7 independent city-states, or emirates, and you're probably most familiar with Dubai and Abu Dhabi. My mom Linda likes to say that Dubai is like Vegas on steroids, and I kind of have to agree because it's home to the world's tallest building, the biggest mall, the largest fireworks display, and honestly that list goes on and on and on. This destination is such a unique blend of tradition and over-the-top novelty that you almost have to see it in order to believe it, because it sounds like something straight out of a children's book. When you're in Dubai, a flight over the Palm Island and a trip to the desert is a must. And then, sipping a golden cappuccino at Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi will have you feeling like a true queen. Well, until you get the check. Destination 10 is less of a destination and more of a rite of passage, and that's to take a good old American road trip. From driving up the PCH in California to the Blue Ridge Parkway down south, and of course, Route 66, road trips are synonymous with classic American travel. And if you have the time, road trips are one of my favorite ways to travel because they're slow and spontaneous. My all-time favorite road trips include the Mohawk Trail in Massachusetts in autumn and the drive between San Luis Obispo and Malibu on the Pacific Coast Highway. I know that international travel might feel like a distant memory or a lofty goal at this point, and I totally understand the feeling. It's why I want to encourage you to keep dreaming, keep learning, and use this time to really start planning your next adventure. I hope that this video kind of got your wheels turning when it comes to which of these destinations you'd like to learn more about and hopefully add to your bucket list, which, speaking of, next week I am officially kicking off my Abroad at Home bucket list series that will teach you how to create your bucket list and make a plan to check off the items as the years go by. Plus, I'll be diving deeper into each of these destinations that I mentioned in this video so that you'll have all the info and recommendations that you need to start planning your trip when the time comes. So if that sounds like something you don't want to miss, you want to make sure you catch that video, make sure that you're subscribed and you hit the notification button to get a notification when that video drops. And if you want to virtually travel with me through London, Vienna, and a few of the other countries mentioned, be sure to check out these videos right here. I'll catch you guys next week, and remember, adventure awaits, my friends.